Good morning. Where does procrastination come from? Have you ever wondered that? Have you wondered, why do I procrastinate? Like, I want to do these things, but I don't do them. Where is that coming from? This is a question that I asked myself so much of the time early on in business because I was struggling with procrastination and I'd struggled with it for years. The reason it changed is because I started to have a different relationship with my work and my focus, like yesterday's quick video and things like that. Here's what I've discovered. What I've discovered is that procrastination comes down to one of three things almost always, almost 100% of the time. It's one of three things. One, it could be that I don't know what I need to do. I don't know what I need to do. It's a lack of knowledge. So maybe you're building a business, maybe you're building your marketing. I don't even know what will help me here. So you don't take action on it. And that makes sense. If you don't know what you're doing or what you need to do, obviously there's going to be some confusion in there. And a confused mind typically says no. Secondly, I don't know how to do it. So the first one is ignorance. I don't know how, or I don't know what. Second is I don't know how. So I lack the skill to do something. So somebody says, oh, all you need to do is market your product a little bit better and your sales will skyrocket. Oh, great. What? I have no idea how to market. Well, if you don't know how to market, again, that is another reason for procrastination. So I don't know what it's about, the ignorance. Secondly, I don't have the skill set. I lack the knowledge or I lack the skill. And the third one is I have emotions tied to what I'm doing that are not helping me. Either I'm afraid of it, so cold calling, door knocking, selling, those types of things, having hard conversations with employees or other people around us. Those types of things, those type of conversations, if they're difficult, if we're scared of those, we're more likely to procrastinate. Okay, so really quick summary again. Number one, lack of knowledge. Number two, lack of skill. So I don't know what, I don't know how. And thirdly, I'm afraid of what I'm going to do or need to do, or there's other weird emotion attached to it. And this could, again, we could run down a rabbit hole. For today, what I want to do is simply help you with thinking about this differently. And the way you change procrastination is the number one thing you can do. We started talking about these yesterday, was to have a plan. To have a plan. Now I talked about how you can have your why, what are you doing, your goals, your plan, and get it down. Here's what I'm going to suggest today, and this is far, far, far more practical. If you've done that, fantastic. Review it constantly. Here's what I want you to do. Every evening before you go to bed, ideally right before you go to bed, you can do this as you're ending your workday too. It depends on your boundaries. It depends on what you want. If you do it just before bed, it has the added benefit of just playing in your subconscious mind a little bit because you've put it there, okay? Because you focused on it. Whatever we focus on just before we go to bed, we tend to wake up also focusing on. It's amazing how this works. If you go to bed in a rotten mood, have you ever noticed that you wake up and you're like, hey, I feel awful today, or you want to sleep in more, or whatever it is, and yet if you go to bed and you're excited, even if it's late, you wake up with energy. This happens so much of the time with me. What I want you to do, and this is your practical application step for today, is every evening before you go to bed, write down what are the most important things I need to get done today. When am I going to do them in the day? Look over your day. This does not have to take a long time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. It takes a few minutes. But when you plan, there's consistent research that shows for every minute of planning, you save 10 minutes in wasted time. I'm going to repeat that. For every minute you spend in planning, you tend to waste 5 to 10 minutes less time. You save 5 to 10 minutes of time. Is it worth it to plan? Absolutely, it's worth it to plan. No, you do this before you go to bed at night. And then the first thing you do, maybe not the first thing you do when you get up, for me it's one of the first things I do when I get up, is I look at my day and I go, what is my focus for today? If you've got a bit of a morning routine where you meditate, visualize, exercise, whatever it is you do in the morning, and you wait until after that, that's fine. But then before you get to work, you're focusing on the plan again. You look at your day and you go, has anything changed? What do I need to focus on? You do not look at your email. You do not look at your texts. You do not look at cat videos on the internet. You do not go to Facebook or Instagram or anything else. The first thing you do is yourself. Influence yourself more. And when you've got this plan in place, now you know what you're doing. And most likely you know how to do it. Now, if you don't know how to do it, it can still become a barrier. But again, the plan tackles that first thing that stops procrastination. And if you've been thinking about it all night in your subconscious mind, you are more likely to have ideas of how to do it. And then thirdly, the emotion attached to this, typically you need a coach to help you. I needed a coach to help me. I did a lot of this stuff on my own. I needed to find someone to help me a little bit, to help me understand what was going on. I read lots of books on it and I just wasn't getting what I needed to. And I'm pretty good with that stuff usually. So I encourage you, plan. Specifically, start tonight, 5 to 10 minutes max. You plan out your next day. You don't plan everything in your day. Look at the most important tasks you have for work or family or whatever it is that you're focused on. And then again in the morning, after you've done your morning routine or before, you look at that list and you look at your plan and go, what is it that I want to do? As soon as you do that, you'll be far more prepared for the day. Do this, and I'm willing to promise you, that if you do this consistently for 1 to 2 weeks, 7 to 14 days, 14 days is ideal. A lot of people struggle to make that commitment. So it's okay. If you want to commit to 7 days, it's okay. Commit to at least 7 days. But 7 to 14 days, if you look at your life, you will notice I am far more focused. I'm not procrastinating as much. I'm getting far more done in far less time. I'm far more proficient. I'm far more efficient. If you do this, that's the question you need to ask yourself. Am I willing to do this? It will change your ability to utilize time. It'll make your time your servant. It'll make it your friend. It'll help time work with you rather than against you. Remember, even when you question yourself, you've got this.